and go ahead and kick us off. Thank you guys for leaning in tonight. I'm so excited to come here and to talk to you. We're going to kick off celebrating. I posted this in the team page. I want this to be a practice we have every week. I want you to type 3 wins from your week in the chat. They can be business wins. They can be personal journey wins. I don't care. Wins are wonderful no matter what. But when you focus on that, it grows. It matters so much how your mind focuses. So yes, Missy said yes. That's exciting. That's exciting. Erin said yeses are always a good thing. I'm celebrating that I got a nap in today. High five to myself for that. And I'm celebrating that we have an amazing coach workshop next week that I'm very excited about, and celebrating that I was able to welcome some new coaches to our team. So I'm excited about that. Yes, workout pants being too big. That is a good problem. Good problem. So let's keep payday. Payday is always good. Scheduled a massage. Oh, that sounds glorious. Got a new challenger, so cool. And Axe Retreat, I never got to go on one of those, and I've always heard wonderful things about them. That's so awesome. Got a paycheck, planning for next week, crushing your hydration game. That's awesome. Keep it coming, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm the person when someone's like, type your wins, about 5 years ago, I would have been like, this is dumb. But I personally developed since then, and I've learned to follow directions. And what you focus on grows. And if you got engaged, girl, that's awesome. Oh, congratulations. We have to celebrate, because what you focus on grows. And if you didn't watch the video by Summer Tucker that I shared this week, it's 20 minutes, do it ASAP. Because what I'm going to talk to you about tonight with onboarding and getting your challengers and coaches started right, it's great. It's going to help you. It's going to help them. But the mindset with which you serve is even more important than the tools you have. You could have the worst checklist on the system, but if you're the most positive coach ever, your challenger is going to be more successful because of the positivity that you are literally radiating. And so it's so important that we take time to celebrate, you know what I mean? And to watch one another's journeys, and to remind one another and call one another out in goodness, that there are good things happening every single day. Like, a win does not mean there are big wins and there are small wins, but they all matter. Like, I had a kid the other day, one of my kids, who struggles a lot with mindset and negativity. And he was like, everything sucks. And I was like, I could think of 10 things right now that are amazing. What? No, you can't. I was like, okay, you're breathing. You just ate food. You have a bed to sleep in. We have heat. You didn't have to walk to school today. You have 2 parents that love you. You have all these siblings in the house. You're a creative kid. You have a heart of, like, I just kept going, and he was looking at me kind of like, oh, this sucks. Like, mom is completely, but my point, and I told him, like, if you can't see that, that's why you're stuck. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, and this is what I'm going to phase into for this, is that you're going to tell people these things. You're going to share them on social media. You're going to be that light. It's going to take them time to, like, absorb it. People are coming from a place in a world where it is what it is normal. Just getting by to the weekend is the norm. You know, you can't be happy until you get this result of X, Y, and Z. And it's even in our company. Unfortunately, in every company, you'll see people that can't be happy till they hit this rank. And I will be honest, there have been seasons of my life that I started to slide into that. But God knew, and he's had amazing mentors in my life that we have in our lives, and I'm passing on to you what I've learned from them, and I want you to do the same, that you can be happy now on your day one, and you can love every single day working towards your goals. And the hard days are coming, but they're there to, like, refine you. And so I want us to celebrate. I want us to be a team that is known for celebrating everything. And I've been working with a mindset coach this past year, and he's made me hoop and holler and whoop and high five myself more than I want to. But I'm not gonna lie, like, I had my Change Your Frequency playlist on before the call, and I was dancing where no one could see me, because it gets me hyped up, because at the end of the day, I'm tired. But I don't want to come to the call like, Hey y'all, how's it going? I mean, how is that exciting? That is not exciting. I did not take Energize, so I would not go to sleep if I did. I did that before a team call one time and I was up till like 1 a.m. I will never do that again. But I want to bring positivity to you, and I want you to bring positivity to the people that you are called to serve. So a couple of things I'm going to just shout out, and then I'm really going to dive right in. Number one, for my people in their team cups, how's it going? How's the team cups going? High five, everybody that's on a cup. Y'all, it's the 20th. We have 9 days. How blessed. This year we have an extra day, February. And I'm excited to see how many people I'm seeing you guys ringing the bell about helping people and getting people on board. And if you're not on a team cup, that's okay. There will be another one and you can be on the cup then. That's okay. It's still lives changed. It's all good. But what's really cool is the $20 off bar blend is still going on. So for those of you who are like being killed with kindness by Elise every day with me, offer this program to people that you think it could help. They literally get their Beachbody On Demand bar blend challenge pack. It's like $160. It's the same cost as a Eurobod, and they get like the affirmation cards, which I love that even Elizabeth was using the affirmation cards when she was finishing 80 Obsession. I want to use these when I do my next program. I didn't even work out today and I pulled one up because I like love having an intention for the day. It's something that's very cool. So, and also the pumpkin spice is not run out. So they get a free box of pumpkin spice when they order a Shakeology challenge pack. So just wanted to kind of share that announcement with you guys. The last announcement is that our Faith and Fitness workshop is starting on Monday. New round of Faith and Fitness workshop, same content, different speakers. And the exciting part is we're actually, instead of just doing like a track your points, we're making a bingo, participation bingo, and we're gonna do prize drawings based on the bingo card, thinking maybe that might be more exciting for people. So you can start adding people tomorrow and I will post the link to the group. It's the same group as last time. So if you have people still in there, I would message them and say, hey, we're running another round. You're still in the group. I'd love for you to tap in. There's going to be some fresh stories and let's keep talking about it. And there you just sent however many invites to get 10 people in there. There's 10 invites to coaching. You know what I mean? Because there's fortune in the follow-up. Okay, so here's what I want to talk to you about tonight. I want to talk to you about serving your clients and coaches well. I want to talk to you about what part is your responsibility and what part is theirs. And then I want to talk a little bit about what you don't want to do and what you do want to do. And some of this is a little interwoven. So in our team page, there are several units that are being purged because we have so much training that I'm actually kind of getting rid of a lot of the excess. It'll still be in the team page, but we don't need to spend all day watching training videos. We need to spend all day talking to people, or not all day, but so there is a unit called How to Serve Your Coaches, and here is a unit on how to serve your challengers. What I'm sharing tonight is found in those 2 units for you. And as they get updated, the documents will stay in those units. We have a Google Drive for stuff, but I find the unit is an easier place to find things right now. So, and don't worry about the Google Drive for right now because I got to organize it. And that's not on my top priority at the moment. But the first thing I want to tell you, when you sign a challenger up for a free challenge, I don't have a checklist for you because it's pretty simple. Right now we have the Stress to Bless challenge. Free challenge groups are an amazing opportunity to just get to know the needs of the person. The purpose of a free challenge is to teach someone how to do something, and then at the end, or to give someone what they need, and then in the end of the challenge, to show them that you have the solution of how they can make that possible as like a habit. So for right now, this week, we're teaching tactics of developing habits to reduce stress. We're providing workouts for them to be able to exercise. And we're doing all of that so that they can see what that it is they need. But at the end, we'll always have a video that's a close. And the video talks about how you do this is you get surrounded and you have a coach and you dig into these materials. And so when you do a free group, it's very simple. but it's also really easy because it's a free group to sometimes miss out on the opportunity. Number one, you add them to the group, and I always send a message that says, I'm so excited you're joining us, and send them a link, because Facebook will not let you just add people unless they accept invites. And if people are not used to groups like we are, they could end up like waiting forever and not seeing the invite. And I just usually say, I'm so excited to have you join us. I'm going to tag you in the welcome post. Go introduce yourself. I'm excited to dig in this week. Use the group to get their answers. The welcome post always asks questions about their goals. Read the welcome posts, read their responses. I'm still having to go through because we have a lot of people and I got to go read some responses. Check on them, message them, get a piece of paper and take notes of what they're saying. You just got a whole bunch of forming done with this person in a post versus weeks of conversation, which is the beauty of that if you utilize it. Then be the ultimate challenger. If you're not leading the group, you can still get a lot of value by just showing up daily on the posts, doing the activities, posting your sweaty selfie, sharing your takeaways from the videos, commenting on your people's and other people's, I feel like we know how to spread the love, and that we don't have a problem with that in our team. And then just being there every day. Usually Wednesday or Thursday, I send a message to my challengers in the free group and just say, how has your week been? What's been your biggest takeaway so far this week? And it just starts a little conversation on the side. And then I check back with them after the closing video, which is at the end of the challenge, and tell them like, okay, we've talked about this. You shared these goals because you got this information. What sounds like the best next step for you based on the video? And it's simple. It's 3 messages. It's being in a group. It can seem like a lot because it's an extra group for a week, but it's the way you serve them is literally by being present and being there, because you're building trust and you're getting to know them. And if they say no, it's okay. You know way more about them and their needs to serve them later. So when you invite them next time, you can invite them to a group based on the needs that they've shared with you. So that's how you run with a free group. I don't have a checklist for that because it's pretty simple. I will tell you this. Don't do a free group unless you're into it. I've had seasons that I don't do them. Y'all have run them before and I've chosen not to be a part of them. It's because I was done with my time and I didn't want to do that group. And that's okay. Do ones that excite you. Like that's because that's also a way for them to connect with you. So I would love in the upcoming months for people to team up and come up with groups you want to run on your own. Like 2 or 3 people. You want good content, but it can be simple. You could do a crock pot group, an instant pot group, a squat group, planks and thanks. I did one on eating more veggies when I was like striving to do that. And it was a hit. And I was excited because I was finding ways to add veggies in. I ran one time on grocery shopping on a budget where we had a plan. We went to the grocery store. We all shared our groceries. And every day I shared what I cooked. I had like 100 people one year do that. And then the next time I ran it, I didn't have the same response. And so I just realized I need to change it. So I recommend doing a free group maybe once a quarter. We're going to run them as a team and you're always welcome to be a part. But I also want you to know if you are good with recruiting and you don't need the group, don't force yourself to be in one, because there are seasons I've been in groups that I said, sure, I'll do it. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't have the energy for it. You know what I mean? And that's okay. So give yourself permission. It's up to you, right? So free group. Second thing I'm going to show you is onboarding your challengers. And I'm going to share the screen. Oh, shoot, hang on. Because I'm going to show you where it is in the team page, because if you're visual like me, as I'm reading something off, it makes more sense to me to actually have you see it in our team page. So hang on one second. All right. This is something that you can print off. Can you see the team page right now? Does everyone see the team page? No. Why is it not showing up? Hang on. No, I gotta unshare. Maybe I won't be doing it this way.
We see a mountain.
Oh, you see my screensaver.
Island. Let's just say it looks like an island.
I don't even know what it is. Courtney updated my computer and all my pretty pictures are, oh shoot. Okay, someone needs to help. I'm like, stop the share. Let's try this again. Hang on. Maybe I won't be doing that. Maybe I will. You see it now? Now I can't see any of you. Do y'all see the team page now? No, okay. All right, well, clearly we're not doing that this way. Okay, there's something in the checklist and it says onboarding your new challenger. You would just print this off and put it in something to keep in your binder. It's just for you to kind of have a visual of the things to do when you sign up a new customer. So the first thing you want to do is send them a share card or use a link. There is a video on how to send a share card in Unit 2. If you need to be walked through how to do that. I was so intimidated by ShareCart forever. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the easiest thing ever. I don't know why I was so nervous about it for the longest time. So you get them set up and then you send them a welcome message. There's a sample here on the checklist that you can use, but you just say like, I'm so excited to have you as a part of this group. You know, I'm so thankful for your yes. Let's take some time to get you ready to get started. Here is a little checklist for you that's going to help you with getting your Beachbody On Demand set up, picking a program and getting like familiar with all of the tools. And I'm also adding you to our either app or challenge group. And I'm really excited for us to dig in. Take a look and I'm going to check back in a few days and we'll go ahead and get things like organized. You're going to send them in the same unit. There's a link that says team welcome and I made it generic. It doesn't have my name or anything on it anymore. So and on that team, on the welcome that you send them, it's basically like a checklist that has a link to the welcome guide that I shared last week. That's like a PDF that shows them like a video on how BOD works, a video on how to make Shakeology, a video on 2B mindset, a video on ultimate portion fix. It has all of this information. It has Shakeology recipes linked to it. So that's on that sheet. There's also on the sheet just an explanation of challenger Zooms and how they check into the group every day and there's a transformation tracker sheet that they can print off to write down their beginning weight and measurements and to write their goals. I usually send it to them and tell them, I'm going to check back in a couple of days and I want you to send me your transformation tracker so we can look at your goals and make sure you're set up with your program. Because sometimes people sign up and they've already picked their program and sometimes they have not. What you do at the beginning of the challenge with your challenger is really important because it's not to spoon feed them, it's just to empower them to feel comfortable with starting. And so you want to be able to answer their questions. And so that checklist is a simple way that they can work down the list. And at the bottom of it, it tells them the primary way that I check in with you is daily in the group. And then I'll also check in with you weekly in a private message. Let me know the best way, because some of my challengers don't use Messenger at all. If you're on the app, then you're emailing them. You know, some of my challengers, I text them instead of message them. But you want to kind of get them familiar with their tools so that they're feeling confident to start, and really encourage them to fill out that transformation tracker so that they have starting photos and starting measurements and starting goals. And then however you guys run your challenge groups, you know, we post our goals at the beginning of every month in our challenge group. You want to direct your challenger to the group. You coach in the group. You don't coach daily one-on-one. I have done that before, but I'll tell you that for the commitment you make, you coach in the group. You put a group together. There's a ton of value in the group. You show up in the group. And then you can, if my challengers don't want to be in the group, I check in with them once a week, because that's okay. If you're a Pearl personality like me, I used to think, oh, but I have to. Their journey is their responsibility. You have invited them to make a change, and you are there to cheer them until the cows come home. But you are not to put them on your back and carry them, because you're going to break your back. and you're doing them a disservice. So that's why the first message on getting their goals and asking them questions like, you can ask, like, what would you like me to do when you're falling off or feeling discouraged? My message that I send every week, which is an example of it's on your checklist of the onboarding your challenger. What's your biggest struggle? What was your biggest win? And what's one thing you can work on this week that will make the biggest impact on your goals? And I send something like that weekly. Sometimes I'll ask, what was your biggest takeaway from the Sunday Challenger Zoom recording? And that's just to like check on them behind the scenes. But to build community in the group, you want to keep redirecting them to the group. And you coach your style of your group, right? And you can get feedback from your challengers, and that's okay. But do not reinvent the wheel because one person keeps complaining that the group is this or the group is that or the group is this. Because what I've learned is I've changed things and they still didn't participate. And then the other people stopped participating. They're just nervous. You know what I mean? So use this checklist, because the checklist, it has, send them that welcome. I also send a thank you note in the mail. It could be a simple card that just says, thank you so much. It means a lot to people. I sometimes put little things in it like hot tea or a packet of Energize or something as a thank you. But when you're just starting out, a simple thank you note is okay. But you send that to them. And then on the checklist, if you don't have a way to track your challengers, we made this a long time ago. It's a sheet that you can print off to write their name and their program, write their goals, and take little notes from your messages. I do this digitally now because I have a lot of challengers, but when I first started, I would print like 5 of these and I kept them in a notebook. And that way, when I was messaging them, I could make a few notes of what we talked about. So I was familiar with what was going on in their story and stuff. But I also don't hold myself to keep everybody's results. They have to track that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why setting them up from the beginning and making sure they understand and being patient with them is really important. When you're in a challenge group, a couple things. Make sure you're helping them to choose a program to follow and having them print their calendar off. But the key to having your challengers succeed, in my opinion, is you have to show up yourself. Like, if you hear it in the coaching business that your coaches will do, 20% of what you do, or your team, your challengers will do 20 to 30% of what you do, because they're nervous. My first group, I didn't know what Facebook groups were. I was scared my stuff was going on my main feed. A couple times I posted my food log on my main feed and I freaked out. Like, I didn't even know how any of this worked. You know what I mean? And so that's where a lot of people are at. So what makes them comfortable? Seeing you show up on the days you ate the brownies, on the days you had an awesome day, you commenting on the coach post in the morning. When someone goes live, you commenting on it. That's how they show the way. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be good and real and authentic. So, 6 days a week, you need to be showing up in your group. Even, and not like, I've had days where I might miss posting my food at night. Like last night I fell asleep very early. So I need to go in and post today and talk about it. So if I miss a day, talk about why you missed the day. And that way there's no shame if they've missed a day. But they really are learning from you. So if you're showing up like every single day and you're there and still not showing up, ask them. And just be real with them, but also don't assume that they're not getting anything out of it. I have challengers who never comment, but they love the group and they get so much value from reading stuff every day, and they respond to my message once a week and they're happy. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we would love it if all 50 people posted every day. It would be great for my ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if that's not what they need, that's okay too. So the biggest mistakes to avoid is, don't vanish. And if you do, make a big comeback. I'm back and I vanished. I want you to hold me accountable and I'm sorry for this. Own it. And that's okay, but just, in my opinion, try your best not to vanish, Do not assume that they're not watching. Like, don't be discouraged and take it personal. You know, don't base your happiness and your journey on who's commenting, kind of like on social media. Same thing, you know, don't keep track of their life for them. You can hold them accountable and be that high five every week, but like, you don't need to keep a perfect journal of everything they've ever told you. You're just there to take some key notes to help remind them so you don't forget, but you don't have to like carry that burden. Be just the cheerleader to encourage them, you know. Do be the example, do be the encourager, do be the person you promised you would be. And if you fall off, tell them you're sorry. You know, we've all had seasons where like life got busy and we're like, oh my gosh, a whole week went by and I didn't check in. It's happened to us, all of us. Then go in and say, this is what's been going on, because you also give them the gift of being able to connect with you and not think that they have to be perfect, you know. But if everyone was able to show up 85, 90% of the time, number one, your personal journey would be rocking. And then two, the energy level in the groups would stay up. And three, you are delivering on the promise you made, you know, and to yourself too, you know. So when you're onboarding your challenger, use this checklist as a guide and see, oh, I don't message my challengers weekly. I'm going to start doing that. You don't have to do more than once a week. Sometimes I message them to remind them of the workout, because if it's an event, you can message all the people that got invited to the event. So I'll just do it for the whole group, but I don't always, you know. It's kind of one of those things where you know what to do for your people, but the most important thing is getting them started right. So having that, look at that unit, because that PDF that I made it's for the team, it's got so much in it. It's like a guidebook. I mean, they can click for Shakeology recipes and they can click for like all of these things and help them decide what program to do and just walk with them in it, right? But use this checklist, because I honestly think the gift of the checklist is that when you think you're not a good coach, if you look at this checklist and you checked it all off, you're a great coach and you're not falling short, and you don't need to blame yourself. And some people are just not going to do it. You know what I mean? But you constantly, I've had people that I messaged for a whole 6 months every single week. They never responded to me. They were in my challenge group. And then on the 7th month message and said, thank you so much. This and this and this and this happened. I'm so sorry, but I'm ready to dig back in. And I really appreciate you always check on me. And I felt kind of dumb sometimes. Like, I hope I'm not annoying them, but I kept messaging them because I said I would. And it would say, I haven't heard from you. I hope you're doing okay. I just wanted to check in. But it just meant something. You know what I mean? And so if they're in my group, I'm going to keep checking on them. So that is your onboarding your challenger checklist for you. And then your little tracking tool if you need one. This is only if it helps. Okay. For coaches, it's a little more of a process. And I'm going to kind of go through this a little quick. But if you look in the same units, there's a section that says getting your coach started right. There is an onboarding your new checklist for you to print off. And I print every coach that I sign up, because I write their name in it and their start date, and then I can take notes. But you get them set up. There's a welcome you can send them. And the welcome to the team tells them things like when our team call is, when our team workout is, the basics of the team page. And then add them to the team page and give them a big shout out and welcome. Send them a handwritten thank you. Like I had bracelets made. It's like I send out to people now. But honestly, when I first started, it was a thank you note. And that's enough. Like, you don't think it has to be some big snazzy thing. But if you want to put something together, I used to send bookmarks. Sometimes I'll send little cards with like a scripture quote on them. And then talk them through their roadmap to success. So once you add a coach to the team page, tag them in the welcome video in unit 1, where I do a video that shows them where everything is in the team page, and send them the welcome message that has a link to their own little checklist to help them. And just tell them, you know, here's a checklist to get you started, even if they're a discount coach. because the checklist, which looks like this, it just has a place for them to write their coach ID, to write their username and password. It talks about the National Wake Up Call, the Freedom Family Call, and then it has a checklist like to set up their own email for their business if they're running the business, to set up a direct deposit account, like a savings account or a checking account for their business if they're doing the business. And then it talks to them about making a list of 5 people that they want to help in like a coach coming out post, and to schedule a call with you to talk about it. And they also have the little 7-minute video that I shared from the Team Courage. It just has a bunch of testimonies of coaching, because I think that's important for them, to people to connect with other people, and a link to one more Getting Started Right document, which is a success roadmap. The purpose of this Getting Started Right is for them to not be overwhelmed and just to get their coach stuff set up so they can get paid and they can have people order through them. And also the link, the second part of it, which is called the Success Roadmap, is a sheet that just helps them tell you, this is the kind of coach I want to be. I'm a discount coach, I'm a hobby coach, I'm a community builder, or a legacy builder. It helps them share with you, I do have a financial goal. I would like to make $100, or I don't have a financial goal, but my personal goal right here of what I want to achieve this year. So I recommend getting on the phone with them no matter what, to talk to them about that, because they're a part of our team. And I also think it's important, no matter what, to have the whole opportunity put in front of them. When I signed up as a coach, I did it for the discount. I never saw options. I didn't know anything about any of this. I found videos by Doug Fitzgerald called CEO on YouTube with him and a whiteboard, and watched them to try to figure out what was going on 4 months after starting, because I wanted to make some money and I didn't know what to do, and we didn't have any training. In fact, the training packet we had was like 20 pages long and very confusing, and a bunch of talk shoe videos, not videos, with a girl named Summer Tucker talking, and I'd never even seen a picture of her before, and I'm listening to her. And so to me, it was kind of like, it was what they had, and it was great. But my point is, I didn't get that till 4 or 5 months later. I want us to give people the gift of seeing what could happen from the beginning, so that maybe a month in, if things start to click, they can come back and be like, that thing we looked at, kind of think I might want to do this as a hobby. And they have a tool that's visual for them. So this is super simple. And the back of it is just, if they want to build the business, you help them set their first goal of how many people, when they would like to reach Emerald, and you talk to them about that. And Success Starter, which in the first 6 months, if they hit Success Club 3 times, they get a free summit ticket. And you just ask, do these goals align with what you want to do? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're on the same page and I'm helping you. That is the main part of getting your coach started right. As a business owner, y'all, printing these forms, and I send them to the discount coaches too, because they're part of the welcome. The link, Megan, is part of the welcome. And I just tell them they need to set up their online office anyway, and to take a peek at the other. Now, some people don't want to do a call, and that's okay. We don't do a call. I don't force people, but I offer one. The thing is this, what I think is important about getting things started right is you own a business as a coach. We work on Facebook. We're really social on Facebook. We're really social as a team. So sometimes we forget this is a business. When you use things like this and you give them to someone, you're showing them this is a business. Or when they're in a challenge group, yeah, it's a thingy on Facebook, but you committed to something. I feel like it levels things up for them, that it's on, for me, a paper is like a little bit of a contract. It shows me what I'm actually doing, and it gives me a plan. And maybe that's the Emerald personality in me. But you posture yourself as a leader when you use forms like this, and you help them. And if you have a new coach and you're confused about this, and you're brand new and you're like, I don't know, then you reach out to your coach who sponsored you and say, I have a new coach and I need some help. I know I would hop gladly on anyone's first couple calls with their new coaches and kind of be a co-person with you. You don't, my first times having coaches, I always teamed up with another coach and had some help because I wasn't quite sure what to do. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, like, I had a Getting Started Right call this week, and a couple of times I was like, oh, wait a minute, because the forms, I've simplified them, and I was like stumbling a bit trying to find, and I've been doing this 6.5 years, and that's okay. That's why it's there. But I just think the important thing is, you don't want to invite someone to the team and them not know the full opportunity. And that's not pressuring them to do it, but it's just to show them what's possible in case later on they're like me, where 90 days in, you're like, gosh, I want to do a little more. And 6 months in, you're like, what could I do with this? And then they're digging. So this is for you to help you with that. The last thing I want to tell you is, once coaches are all set up, the way that you help them grow and achieve their goals is we lean in as a team. We have these team calls every Thursday to plug your coaches into, to learn how to do things like this, right? So you don't have to take all your time to train your new coaches that you're not inviting people anymore. The best way for you to help your coaches is the same as in the challenge group. Build your business. Keep reaching out to people. Keep being relevant and sharing and connecting. So that way you're fresh in the trenches with them when they come to you and say, I have this girl and she wants to be a coach. What do I do? Then you walk them through it. I check on my coaches. So my cathedral builders, we check in that group chat. But for people who are not in cathedral builders, I check in with them as challengers weekly, and I ask them business goals at the beginning of every month, if they have any that month that they'd like some help with. You know, but we're all grown-ups. So the best way to inspire your coaches is to lead by example, you know, to be present in the team page. Does that mean every single day? No, but a couple days a week, being in tune with what's going on, being on the team calls. And if you can't be on the team calls, listening to them. So we're kind of keeping in the loop, right? Listening to the national wake up calls, which I fall out of the habit sometimes of. I need to get back in the habit of it, because it's just, I used to do them every Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like, keeping your first part of your business, the growth part of phase 1, which is your connecting, inviting, following up, primary, because then you're really able to serve your challengers, your coaches, because you can come in after you power houred and say, I did this today, it really helped my business, and you share it in the team page and it adds value. And it shows people what you're doing because you're doing it. A lot of times we can fall into teaching mode. I can do it too, where we start to like talk about what we're doing so much, and we're so worried about our coaches doing it that we stop doing it ourselves, and then we feel weird because we're telling them to do it, but then we are not really doing it. And it's the best thing is to do is lean in on the team's resources. The last team resource we have, you know, team calls, we have Monday focus videos I do every week. Is Freedom Academy, which is like a rotating theme every week of the month that helps to review things like inviting and the vitals and tracking. Plug your new coaches into that. There's a checklist for that as well to help them navigate them. They're not meant to overwhelm. They're short videos to just help answer questions a lot of us have, and little mini challenges to challenge them to step out of their comfort zone. And some will and some won't, and that's okay. But if you, as long as you get them set up right, you're good as a sponsor coach, and you love them where they're at, and you invite them to Summit, even though you think, well, they're just a discount coach. I still invite all my discount coaches to Summit because I think they love working out with the trainers. Like, that would be really fun. You know what I mean? Or Super Saturdays, or I invite them to the coach workshop because maybe they want to learn a little more about the business side and see if they want to dig in a little more with it now. It's okay. Like, you know, think of what would help you. What would you need? What did your coach do for you that helped? Or what did you wish your coach did for you that you could do now, you know? And the other part is at the end of the day, a person that really wants to build this business, like, they're going to dig in and they're going to learn stuff. You know what I mean? They're going to Google videos, like Angie said, binging Summer's videos on Team Courage's website. I know several of you guys have done that. I mean, I remember Rebecca sending me stuff that she was looking up. You know what I mean? And that makes my heart go, yay, because it means you're going to have people that are a self-starter, and then you're going to have people that need a little permission. And that's where you give them permission by inviting them to the team call, or inviting them, to tagging them in a post if you saw it that was like, oh, this was good, you should watch this. Like I reference stuff for people all the time. Oh, watch this video. So the other thing I'll tell you for getting people started right is be familiar with our units, because like I'm updating them as corporate releases new stuff. They're making very simple training. So like our unit 3 on the comp plan is all updated, and it's awesome because corporate came out with a whole new series of videos that I stumbled upon a couple weeks ago. So just keep yourself familiar, and also know like this is something that Brad Bizjack, my mindset coach, said to me. Like he said when he was coaching with Beachbody, his coach, he told me she's a very successful coach, and she spends 75% of her time on her own personal business and 25% of her time on her team. And she was a multiple star 6-figure earner. And when I was at leadership last fall, I mean, Melanie Mitro said she spent like 80% of her time on her own business and 20% of her time on her team, because she has systems like we do, and she needs to keep working. And I think what happens is we start to want to put coaches on our back because we want them to be the ones who are going to help us create our mission and grow, but they might not, or they might need more time. So you give them a gift of a sister coach or a brother coach to lean in with, and it happens on their own time. The last thing I'll tell you is no matter what a coach signs up for, they're always your challenger. So like, I'll tell you the uncomfortable part, it's not hard, but uncomfortable part for me, which is a good growing pain, is that a lot of y'all or my coaches aren't in my challenge group anymore because you run your own, which is really good. But then I'm like, how do I know? But because you check in and you see each other, you know what I'm saying? And if anybody needs me, they'll tell me, or I'll say like, how are you doing? And that's growth, and that's good. But just remember, like, your coach's journey is primary to their before business, their health journey, because you're still their coach. So there have been seasons where I've had coaches that have really fallen off in their health journey because life has been hard. And as much as I wanted them to run with the business, the important thing was me to support them in their health at that season, because that's what we need to do first, always. And we don't do that as a team, but I think that's your primary. So if a coach is struggling, ask them how their personal development's doing and what program are they working on. Because sometimes I think as coaches, we start taking off and we're doing things, we're doing really well, but we forget we got to put our own oxygen mask on, and it's okay to ask our coach to help us do that. So like I've been meeting with my coach, Rebecca Bain, at least twice a month to tell her how I'm doing, because I just needed someone to hold me accountable, because it feels good to be checked on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, and your coaches will appreciate you checking on them. The beauty when you become an Emerald coach and you join groups like the Cathedral Builders is we kind of are able to check on each other there. And then the Diamond Strong group is going to be opening up in March, and for that'll be a way for so we also have systems as a team, so that as your team grows, you can do those things without feeling very stretched thin and needing to work all day long. So I know this was a lot of paper and forms. Does anyone have any questions? Was this helpful? Did I just confuse the fool out of everybody? Yes, Allison.
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to tell you, I hope this doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, but I really appreciate all of the information that you have given to us as a team, because it's really a lot, and it's great, and I'm always looking back on it.
Thank you.
Challenger checklist, the one that you just recently posted, I love it. It's like the colorful one, really beautiful one.
Yeah.
That says, you said at the beginning of the call that you were working on getting it in a Google Doc.
Yes.
I'm not tech savvy at all, but is that in our challenge group, the one that you and I are in, like where they can, okay.
Yeah.
I can just go in the units in our challenge group and tag my new challengers and, okay.
Yeah, it's a PDF in the first unit. But also, if you go to the unit that says challenge or welcome and you open it up, you can click a little thing that says share and get a link to share it. And I can show you how to do that, and you can send it that way too. But it is in our challenge group. So you guys can upload it to your challenge group and tag your challengers in it too.
Yeah.
And then just send them a
Great.
welcome note. Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
that came, I was excited about that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I was going to make one and that came out and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad because I don't want to have to make one.
Yeah, it looks great. Thanks.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions I can help you guys with? Trying to see if do you have certain things you chat with your new coach with? I walk through the success roadmap, Megan. So like I asked them to share with me like their goals, you know, how far have they gotten in any units? Like, do they have questions about, do they have a coach? I help them with their first invite. So I use that roadmap on the first call. I don't get on a call unless they've done or at least read the roadmap, because then you're going to get on the call and it's fun, but you're not going to get very far. So I always use it as a guide, if that helps. And yeah, you can still binge watch them. They're on the Team Courage YouTube channel, Angie. But I like having these printed because I can just put them in my binder. Does that make sense, y'all? They're in a clear tracker because I don't, it's just a check for me. Like I have to write a list of people to make sure I send handwritten thank you notes out, because I'll forget and miss somebody if I don't write it down somewhere. So, all right. I just realized I didn't do this in speaker view. Sarah, you didn't say anything. I just see her on her face. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna pray, and I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. No, I think that's it. So definitely check out those units. And I don't know what numbers they are. They're farther down for the references of tonight. The other thing I'll tell you is units 1, 2, and 3 are everything they would need to know to build the business, because unit 1 is the welcome and these sheets. Unit 2 is power houring, and unit 3 is understanding the compensation plan. Everything beyond that is digging deeper. So like unit 4 is social media stuff and that kind of stuff. All right, well, let's go ahead and pray, and then we can take a picture. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the gift of this team. Lord, I pray for you to bless our efforts. I pray for all of the mamas who are about to have babies, that you would walk with them in these final weeks. I pray in Thanksgiving for the new life on our team, Lord. I pray for you to set us free from limiting beliefs and from anxieties. I pray that you would help us to see the blessings and the wins that our business provides for us every day in our health journey. I pray for our challengers. I pray for us to have a renewed just sense of purpose and service in our challenge groups if we've gotten tired. Lord, I pray for you to help us to find that fire. I pray that you would help us to place the names on our hearts of those that need us to reach out to them, to check in with them. I pray for our sneak peek next week, or our coach workshop, to go well, that those that are in there would receive the training well and be inspired. If they're called to be a part of this team in this mission, and for Steph's team, I pray for our Stress to Bless group, that it will continue to help women navigate overwhelm and things daily and motivate them to see there's a better way. I pray for anyone on our team who's struggling, Lord, that you would just lift them up. And I ask that you would unify us even more as a team, help us to be a light in the Beachbody culture. Lord, we have our goals and we lay them before you. And you always know our needs, Lord, and you always hold true to your promise. Help us when we can't see how to believe that you know how, and help us to be obedient to the daily actions to take us to the place you want us to be in our business, but also in our life, most importantly. God, I pray for abundance this year in our team, abundance in our mindsets, abundance in our belief, abundance in our faith, and in our growth. I am so grateful for the many coaches who have already joined this year and challengers who have said yes. Give us the courage and obedience to continue to ask others, and give us the grace to listen and the patience to wait for those when they're not ready. And Lord, I just pray that you would send encouragement to everyone who feels discouraged in our team, that you would just lift us up. And I thank you, God, that you stretch us to be servant leaders and that you help us to grow more and more every day. And I'm honored, Lord, to be a part of this team and to help to lead these women and men in this mission. We love you so much, God. We offer all these things in your most holy name. Amen. Okay, let's take a picture. 1, 2, Angie, did you make a face? 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys so much for leaning in tonight. Hope you have a good evening. Take care.